Friends, if you're looking for a high paying job that does not require coding, or if you're from a non IT background and want to enter into the IT world, watch this session till the end. We are going to cover the complete roadmap to becoming a PMO. Hello, everyone. Welcome to CareersTalk. I'm Rohan Sharma, an agile consultant based in Netherlands. And today we have Ashish Garg with us, who has over 14 years of IT experience. He's certified PGMP, PMP, and he's currently working as a senior manager of PMO at Fidelity International. But before we start, I have a small request. If you find this session helpful, useful, want to support us, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out our future sessions. All right, let's get started. Welcome, Ashish, and thank you for joining us today. Ashish, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sunand. It was a great introduction. And I have been a subscriber to your content on YouTube, and I found it really helpful. And thanks for doing this for the community.
Wonderful, Ashish. Okay, so are we ready? Can we start?
Sure, let's go
Okay,
ahead.
Ashish. So before anything, our viewers and I am more interested in knowing what is the minimum and maximum salary a person can expect in this role of a PMO. Of course, there will be various factors, but based on your experience, if you want to just share.
So that's a great question to start off with. So absolutely, so the world has evolved. So if I compare my starting salary when I started off, as you mentioned, 14 years back, I think absolutely things have uh, definitely changed. So I would be just taking a guess from my perspective. So if a person would be starting off in PMO, I'm expecting he or she should be getting at least 6 to 8 lakhs per annum,
As a
and
fresher,
as a fresher.
like when someone who's having 1 to 2 years of experience, something like that.
Yes,
Okay,
and depending upon the background,
of
if,
course.
if he or she is coming from a good tier college, and absolutely the numbers might
Can
hit on the
increase.
higher side as well.
Okay.
In on if you're an experienced professional, absolutely, I think we would cover that in the following session as well. It can go absolutely. Uh, I won't even kind of a quote any number, but if you, let's say, if you are uh, in the ranks of
You are
10.
afraid, just tell us, like just tell us. It may be like 20, 25 to 35 for sure. That's based on my
Yeah, I think it
experience.
should be it should be 25
Right.
to
You
35
are
for a
afraid.
manager
I
level
mean, no need to
experience.
afraid. Like why you are so just tell us whatever you have,
Yeah,
right?
I think I agree
Cool.
absolutely. 25 to
So
35.
so guys, I guess from conservatively from 6 to 8 as a beginner, if you are 1 or 2 years of experience, and it can varies. Of course, the normal is into the, if you are, let's say, 10 to 15 years of experience or something, you can expect 25 to 30, 35, something like that. So that's a conservative guess which we are taking over here. But of course, there are always outliers. So this is exactly like, I guess like people as a scrum master or a product manager, project managers are getting in India. So there is no difference as such. That's the only purpose of asking you this question, Ashish. Okay, great. Let's get started. So what is this PMO? First of all, I have no idea what is this PMO. So you want
Okay.
me to open these links, right? Just give me a minute.
Yes. So yeah, we have got a couple of profiles, a couple
Hmm?
of open profiles from a executive level experience perspective. Someone who's in range of 3 to 5 years, and then we have got a couple of open jobs from the perspective of a manager.
Okay, you can see my screen, right? So
Yeah.
yes, okay. So wait, so I have opened those links. So this one is from Franklin. This is from KPMG.
Yeah.
Wait, and this is from, yeah, Emery Price Financials, and this is, yeah, Deloitte. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the purpose of showing these openings are just to, I mean, if you are watching it first time, if you have no idea what is PMO, right? So at least this kind of job posting can give you a sense that, okay, what basically we are looking for, this job description is really going to help us, right, to understand this role a little bit more better, right, Ashish?
Yeah,
And what
absolutely.
kind of companies are still, like, people are even not aware about that these are the all good names in the IT world, right? So if these people are opening for these kind of, you can think about the other service based company. So there are, the idea is like there are multiple roles which even we are not even aware about, which exist in IT world. Yeah, Ashish, please go ahead.
Absolutely. So absolutely, and thanks for speaking on that. So there is a myth that PMO is a support function only. So I think this I think we can look at these roles, and we can understand that there is an element of leadership which is involved with the PMO role. So let's look at this role, for example. As of now, it looks like, if we look at the first line, it seems they are they're looking for someone who should be for their client. Deloitte is looking for someone to support their client, and there is specifically mentioned that they need some kind of a domain experience from a person who has worked in an MNC bank already. So if, let's suppose, there is a non-IT experienced person, and he has been supporting the operations for a for a banking entity, I think they pretty much understand how the processes happens and everything. But this is a senior level position, so that's slightly different. So if you look at the second line over here, it says that candidates should have experience working with senior set of stakeholders. Pretty very straightforward states that someone should have an experience in terms of working with senior set of stakeholders. So senior set of stakeholders mean clear communication. You need to understand what exactly the senior set of stakeholders mean. It's not, it is sometimes tricky to convey the information in an understandable format from different projects and programs back to the senior management, and that's a very that's something which needs good leadership skills and good stakeholder management skills. The next one is should be well versed in running program governance forums and publish minutes of the meeting, track actions. So publish minutes of the meeting, I think that's one area which I would really recommend that people do build their skills in. So good news is that we are now getting lots of AI support in this area with Zoom AI and other kind of a generative AI support happening as well. But absolutely, I think one needs to be very active in terms of listening whatever is happening in key meetings, noting down the actions.
Mhm.
The AI can definitely support you, but ultimately it's your skill in terms of how you get that on paper and get the actions kind of formulated in the right format. So that's one skill that you should definitely look to evolve. Next is experience in delivery of detailed business case for new programs, projects, drafting skills. So that's what I'm trying to read over here is understanding what the business case is and how to draft it. You need to understand uh, the concepts of NPVs and IRRs in terms of whether the cost benefit analysis is favoring execution of that project or not. So I think some basic information is definitely helpful, but this is an area as well which sometimes PMOs are expected to work on. The RAID
Okay.
logs, which pretty much means risk, actions, issue, decisions,
Yeah,
and
this looks
uh,
pretty standard. Yeah, that's okay.
yes,
Can
and
you
the
move on?
yeah, I think I just like to point out the second last one, supporting program audits. So I think
Okay.
it is very important that as a govern and from a governance point of view, they are also expecting you to support that the program is adhering properly against the organization standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
move ahead.
Okay. What about this one, Franklin? What they are looking for? Oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one actually, because I'm not going to go through the entire list of roles and responsibilities, but if one gets to, maybe people can pause and start to look at it, you would find multiple facets of responsibilities are required over here. They are definitely looking for someone to lead the team. They are looking for someone to set out the governance. They are looking for someone to uh, set out the standards, even uh, at some aspects, and kind of creating the entire project management framework. So it pretty much looks like a looks like big shoes to fill in. So as I mentioned, so PMO is not straightforward. You need to be very a good expert in the domain of project management and understanding
Mm.
the passage between delivering and conveying
Okay.
it back to the senior leaders.
What about KPMG?
So
Oh, this is
yes,
still. 3+ only.
Yes, so that's something which definitely looks like.
Any graduation, post graduates means they
Yeah.
are open. You guys can
Yes.
apply.
Yes.
KPNG is a great company. I mean, in terms of brand. So if they are giving this opportunity, I think that's really good.
Yeah, and I think they are also looking for support for one of their clients. It looks like, uh, and then yeah, on the second point they have mentioned manage PMO work on client projects. So if we look at the skills mentioned over here, except for a few, we can see that at the fresher level, what we are expecting to have from the person is
I think this is the only important skill. That's
absolutely,
it. If you
absolutely,
are good in
and
communicating,
absolutely, you need to have very good communication, be collaborative, and I think most of your job can be done at this stage very easily, and you would definitely get to learn a lot with the experience while support with the experience of the project manager that you are supporting with.
cool. Just select what is difference in this. Okay.
Right. So again, if we look at it over, if we look at the roles and responsibilities over here, we can assess that it is not for PMO as a function. It is for setting out the governance for a project or a program. So they need someone to be the right hand of the project manager or the program manager in terms of establishing the administrative aspects of project management. So don't get me wrong when I say administrative, because if PMO is not there, then the project manager or program manager would have to pick this up. So if you are starting, this is absolutely a great thing, or a great place to be, because you would definitely get to learn from the good experience of that your project manager or program manager would have, and you would get to learn a lot in the terms of skills as mentioned over here.
Hmm. Great. Good. Now we have a fair understanding by going through these roles and responsibilities. Great. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen and
So it would be great, Suran, if you can start sharing
oh
those
yes,
slides.
oh yes, just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you shared me one slide. Yeah, give me a second. Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. So on this slide, pretty much what I have tried to cover is what has been the industrialized understanding of PMO. So if you look at the definition which I have quoted over here, this is not my definition. This is coming from Project Management Book of Knowledge, which is
Okay.
something that PMI publishes. And on the right hand side, you can see a diagram which signifies the types of PMO that are found in an organization. So one thing which I would like to make clear over here is, except for the key areas section, if we ignore that for the moment, the definition and the diagram on the right hand side pretty much signifies how PMO as a function can be found in an organization. Right. So if you look at the definition, so it states in there that it's an organization structure that standardizes the project related governance processes and facilitates the sharing of resources, methodologies, tools, and techniques. Very broad, very broad. So there can be multiple roles and responsibilities that a PMO can perform. And I think we have got a section wherein we would try to look at some of the uh, open job positions, which would help to understand this better. Similarly, on the right hand side, if you look at the types of PMOs, supportive PMO, very basic. There are standards, processes, and a project manager or a program manager can simply reach out to the supportive PMO and ask for uh, if they have got any particular reference that they can start using in their initiative. Next is controlling. Controlling is the most commonly found PMO structure function in an organization. This pretty much covers standards plus the governance. So you have got the standards, but you're also ensuring the governance is happening on the top of those standards. Next is directive. More control getting in the hands of PMO, so they are also owning the delivery. So the success and failure of the initiative would also be owned by PMO. So they would also be looking at the success criteria, the KPIs, and the benefits getting delivered in that pretty much sense, and they would in fact be also controlling the resources in the case of a directive PMO. At the top layer, there's something which I have added from my knowledge, the strategic PMO, and I think normally we would find strategic and directive kind of a same one and the same thing, but just for the sake of uh, clarity. Strategic would be when the PMO is also involved at the objective setting level. So in terms of whatever the organizational objectives are, PMO does ensure that we are working towards that. In fact, we would continuously monitor that the objectives, whether the current objectives of organization are relevant in terms of what the program or project is working against. Now let's come to the this key area section. I think I would just like everyone to focus on this particular thing more. So standards, that's pretty much the basic from where we start to set out things. So how exactly the project management or program management should happen. Uh, what should be the templates? How you should be initiating your program or project? How you would be moving across stages? How you shall be requesting for resources? How should you be managing your risk, issues, actions, change requests? How you should be closing your project, lessons learned, customer satisfaction, uh, anything. A, each and every aspect from a project management lifecycle perspective, we would be having some standards, and that's something, one of the core areas that PMO needs to establish or need to take care of, that they keep on getting evolved, right? The next is governance. Again, on the top of standards, having some control mechanisms, having some audits, having some regular audits. So control mechanisms can include having dashboards in terms of uh, whether the project has got a proper directory in there or not, whether they have completed the charter or not, how their financials are faring against the accepted thresholds, whether on the PPM tool their attributes are up to date or not, and there can be multiple things. So governing that particular uh, area against the standards is also something which PMOs are most commonly found working. Next is delivery. I think in terms of whether a particular initiative is suitable as of now to be taken ahead. So there is something known as triage. Uh, that's generally called triage. So triage is a forum or an area which takes a decision in terms of whether a particular request for a change is kind of a priority or not. That's one area. Then ensuring that the delivery happens properly against the constraint, the triple constraint, generally known as scope, cost, and schedule. And then if they are faring properly against the strategic objectives. These three would be the areas wherein we would find PMOs commonly working in. And
Great.
again, there would be multiple areas overlapping across these three.
No problem. Thank you, Ashish. So, why don't you tell us like how the job profile looks like if someone is want to apply to this
Yeah,
kind of
sure,
role?
sure. So let's switch to the next slide for that purpose.
Okay, give me a minute. Okay, let me know what you want. Okay, you have the other slides also. Okay, so how I can be a PMO? That's the question. Now I want to know. Okay, let me share my screen. I think you have answer over here. Like, what are the some basic stuff if we have that will be good for us?
Yeah, I've just yes scribbled down a few core aspects in terms of how you can make yourself a right fit. So first, I would like to state that there is, I think, if you want to get into PMO, so uh, I think you can start off if you're good at communication, if you're good at problem solving, if you think that you can collaborate, if you can coordinate. I think you need to be very good at that, absolutely. But I think that is the base level to start off with. From definitely technical skills are a good value add. Especially you should be good at Microsoft Project and the rest of the Office suite as well, the advanced Excel and the PPT especially. Jira is a good tool to have exposure towards, especially now, since most of the projects like to adapt the agile. methodology. So it's really good to understand the Scrum purpose and how Jira is actually already adapted to it. Power BI is really a good tool, if not the other data visualization. Power BI is widely accepted, so I would definitely suggest to learn it. And I think the Power BI has also kind of incorporated a Gen AI kind of uh, a function in their visualization tools as well, wherein you can ask questions and they can start replying. So it's really definitely a tool you should build your skill. Six Sigma, if you are coming from a non-tech background, I think it's really helpful to have that exposure. If you have done some yellow belt, green belt projects, absolutely, I think it's really good if you have done. Gen AI prompting, I would really recommend. Get good at this, because this is the future. So you absolutely, so some of these skills that I would just like to advise. From certifications perspective, there is a certification uh, being conducted by Axelos. That's called P3O. So I would be honest, this is something which have not done, but this is one of the most relevant certifications available in terms of the project portfolio and program management office. Then PMP is there. That's been that's conducted by PMI. I think one of the most renowned certifications in the project management domain. So if you have got the right experience, even if in the non-tech, I think try for this as well. Try for this, I would say, absolutely. Next is CSM, Certified Scrum Master. As I mentioned, Agile is coming out as the new ways of working. So you should have the exposure in terms of understanding what the Scrum is. It pretty much correlates with the technical skill that I was referring to. From trainings perspective, if you can do, I would say you must do some project management training. I think they are fairly available on Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, and other learning platforms. Do get that exposure. Do understand what is the project management life cycle. What is the difference between a risk and an issue? Uh, what are the different project artifacts which are key to the project execution, project
Ashish,
charter.
sorry to interrupt you. We already have like 10 hours of project management course freely available on our
Oh
website,
wow,
on
oh
our
wow,
Career Stock channel. If
absolutely,
anyone wants to look into it, please have a look. Anyway,
ab-
great. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
absolutely.
Networking start. Yeah, great. Sorry.
Yeah. Before going on to networking, just one more thing which I have missed to add. Whichever domain that you are in, learn that domain as much as you
So
can.
when you
So
said domain, is it like if I'm working in banking, so BFSI domain, or let's say logistics? That's
yes,
what you are referring, right?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So if
Just
you're
so
if
that
you're
our
in the investment space, understand what are the asset classes at least. If you're in the banking, do understand how that works. If you're in a retail business, understand what's a supply chain. So do understand the cores of that function that you're in. That's really helpful. Okay, coming on to the networking. So I think uh, the second aspect I would the LinkedIn. I've put in a few pointers in there, and absolutely it is important if you're looking to get into the PMO role. I'm starting from the second one intentionally. Uh, do I think do project yourself as well that you're interested in this. Maybe certifications, highlighting them is really helpful. Connecting with people like Sunand is really helpful, because they can really guide you in terms of what should be the next steps, and if there are any uh, if there are any people in his network who are looking for someone, he can definitely get you connected. And absolutely some of the groups uh, which have been regularly posting some insights and jobs related to PM, do be a part of that. Coming back to the first one, so if we are already working, i think I think that should be the first thing to go ahead with. Check your internal sites and see if there are already any mentorship programs in your current organization, or if you can reach out to an individual that's kind of a you have a friendly relationship with, and ask if there is an opportunity to volunteer in an existing project or program. Try to support that as much as possible. That is going to provide you a really good experience, and whenever the time would be right, I think you can definitely count on that, and can be the best position to be in.
great, wonderful, Ashish. Just for everyone interest, guys. all organization have PMO. It's just like might be you are not aware about it. So
Yeah.
ask your project managers or your whoever is your senior leadership that okay, do we have a PMO? If yes, okay, who or she is working, and maybe then you can assist them and help them in some way down the run, because these people also need a lot of they need that kind of support which they don't get it mostly. They are like almost like one or two people. Why I'm
Yeah.
telling you, because once I was also worked as a PMO in one of the project, and that was hell of the project. Really, my my life is hell at that project, so I just left that role of a PMO. But then it's good. The things have changed so far. I mean, when I have done it long time back, and now things are completely changed. But then it's good. Like if you are getting too much work, that's good for you for your job. If you have too,
Yeah.
I mean, lot of work, which is the case over here. So don't treat PMO like a yeah. I mean, it's a simple role and we can do it. Yes, of course anyone can do it, but then it need persistence. You have to learn a lot of things over the period of time. That's I
Yeah.
just want to add over here, Ashish. Yeah, what
Absolutely.
next, what next for us?
I think we should definitely need to look at what the future holds for PMO. I think let's if we move on to the next slides,
Okay,
uh,
good. Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I've just on a very high level tried to put in these 4 pointers in terms of how they are impacting or they would be impacting the PMO function, right? So if we the generative AI, I think it is disruptive. We need to accept that. So the prompting can get job done for you very easily. So definitely some kind of a change is expected in that space. Uh, but so where exactly PMOs can evolve, they definitely need to be good at prompting. They need to be very expert in the modern tooling and definitely need to incorporate these tools in terms of decision making. Uh, and I think yeah, I think they also need to be I think the motivation is a factor sometimes which might get missed because of generative AI. So time to time the project managers and the team would need some human intervention. That's what we need to be good at. uh, uh, just rather than being a cop in terms of project management standards, we might need to turn into friends and understand, okay, and understand at how they can support the overall picture. So this is going to get disruptive, but I think we need to go along with it rather than resisting it. Next is wide adoption of agile and DevOps. Against on the same lines, more and more organization and getting towards agile and DevOps, and I think it's kind of a streamlining the entire delivery, and it feels like that the PMO might not be required, but in my experience, what I have observed is I think projects are normally treated as a very individual entity, and you definitely need someone to connect the dots and present it at the wider picture. So more and more what I'm going towards is that you need to start looking upwards rather than looking at the bottom layer. So absolutely PMO function has been considered in terms of following up for the timesheets and the other support aspects, but I think it's high time that if you're looking to get into PMO, you should start to look at the top top view rather than looking at from the bottom perspective. Understand how exactly the work that is being done is going to help out the organization, and that's when you would start to create value. So yeah, that's something from the second point. And then this is a really good news. The third one: focus more than ever on bringing in efficiencies. So more and more technology, the disruption which is happening, organizations are definitely going to look out for bringing in efficiencies from the cost perspective, from the time perspective for the projects and programs that they are executing. And that's where you as a PMO can play an instrumental role in monitoring that and keeping a close tab on it and ensuring that you're providing that value back to the organization. And that's where I think organizations would really respect and like to have someone who does ensures that the there is a heuristic element in terms of if a project could have been done in this amount of dollar, why it is taking more than that. So those kind of a connections and tracking, I think, would be expected and would be good for someone to get into PMO to understand. Last one is focus on sustainability. That's interesting, actually. If I think in most of the international organization, we would have observed that more and more focus has started to happen towards uh, sustaining in terms of the environment, whatever we can. So centralized reporting, less use of emails, those kind of things, so we can think of innovative solutions in that area. That's also something that we need to start incorporating while learning and getting towards PM. These are some of the areas which I was able to think of, but definitely it just keeps on evolving. That was also none from my end.
Wonderful, Ashish. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Oh, okay, great. So, friends, we just try to give you a quick information of PMO role, but if you are interested and if you want to explore this option, and if you want me to create more, interview questions based on PMO, please put it in a comment. We love to create more, sessions on PMO, around PMO. Yeah, so that's something for you guys. If you want to join our WhatsApp group, drop a comment. WhatsApp group for job openings and all. We'll love to add you into those groups. And yeah, that's it. And thank you, Ashish, for joining us today. Maybe we'll start our own mentorship program later on if we see a good, uh, you know, uh, good comments and appreciation from our viewers. So we'll see how it went. So yeah,
Yes.
but then thank you for today. And friends, we hope you found this session helpful, something new. And yeah, don't forget to leave a comment and like this video, show your support, give your feedback. That's really help us to create more valuable content for you. And if you're new, please subscribe to our channel and become a part of our CareersTalk family. So see you in the next session. Thank you everyone, and thank you, Ashish.
Just one thing, thank
Yeah,
you,
Ashish.
Simon, for the opportunity, and absolutely happy to be reached out in case someone is looking for some guidance as well. So
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you, Ashish.
thank you.
Bye. Bye.